Coach, what's the biggest difference you think in the passing game, both between Cade and DJ, and with this new offense that Garrett Riley's bringing in?
Yeah, from a standpoint of just passing game, schematically, it's simple. Not a lot of plays, and you take those plays and you mix and match them into different formations and motions to make them look different to a defense, but to the quarterback, there's still those 10 plays or whatever it is, but it's just a handful of stuff. And, from a quarterback standpoint, I'm not going to make a comparison between Cade and DJ because they were playing in two different systems, and they're not the same. But at the same time, we've done some things, like I said, schematically that I think will take advantage of our personnel, take advantage of our skill set at the receiver position, at the tight end position, at the running back position, and it's only going to benefit the quarterbacks that we're bringing in here, and currently with Cade and CV, and Hunter Helms has done a great job learning the system and being able to execute it. And today at practice, we made some big plays offensively, had a really good day at practice, and they're just starting to get more comfortable with it. And as the quarterbacks get more comfortable, they become more confident, and then that starts to just kind of spread throughout the rest of the group. So it's just, I would say, if I put it in one word, simple.
Quick programming note real quick, if anybody wants to step out, Cole Turner started as well, if not continue.
I think last year at this time, simplifying was one of the buzzwords too. Was the difference then compared to now just eliminating a lot of the stuff that had built up in the playbook over years, and now it's just a matter of reducing it even more?
Yeah, it's different because last year simplifying was trying to simplify the system that we were in and trying to eliminate some things that we don't run a lot or we put in and don't run during the season. So that simplifying was totally different than what I'm saying now from this offense scheme schematically is just simple and it's easy. Last year we were trying to, take a bunch of years that are kind of probably, jumped on top of each other and addition, and there wasn't a lot of subtraction. So when I got the job last year, that was one of the things I wanted to do is kind of subtract some things. We're quick to add a lot of stuff, and all offenses are like that. You're quick to add a lot of stuff and not really think about it. And then next thing you know, you go from, a system of this to, it's just kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of stuff. So last year when I was talking simplifying, and that's what we did as an offense, we did simplify. We took out some stuff that we didn't run a lot or we were just practicing and repping because that's the way we had done it years before. Now it's totally different because, again, it's a totally different scheme. So when you hear the buzzword simple, it's because the scheme is simple. We're not coming in, and going, hey, we need to simplify things. It's already simplified. Now we need to go rep it. Now we need to go learn it. Now we need to be, like I said, we need to be comfortable with it, and then that comfortable will lead to confidence. And you can slowly see that happening every single day that we get more time with it, whether it's mental reps or physical reps. It's not just about practicing the days that we practice. We get 15 times out on the field, but that's not how many times we get in the classroom learning this system too. So that's part of it.
Richardson spoke about freedom for the quarterbacks and receivers, like how there's some freedom there. Can you just elaborate some on that?
It's one of those things where, this system just kind of allows them to play, where, in the past there may have been, hey, this route has to be like this, it's got to be this many steps, or it's got to be, run to this vicinity and you have to stay in this spot or whatever. This is a little bit of, hey, this is where we want you to go, and on the way there, if some things happen, then let's play football. So that's probably what he was meaning by that. But, I tell the tight ends all the time, like, defensive coaches get paid too, and defensive coaches spend a lot of time game planning and trying to scheme you up. So I may draw up a look or I may show you a look, and that's the perfect look, because I'm drawing it up. and I want it to look perfect or look right so I can teach it to you. But then you get out on the field and it don't look that way, or it's different. And that's what that means, you know. Here's how we got to install it, and here's what we're installing it against. But when you get out there and the coaches aren't between the white lines, you still got to go play football, and you still got to find a way to make this play work. So that's kind of what that means. And there's some plays in the system like, no, it's black and white, you know. But there's a lot of plays within this system that not only the quarterback has some freedom to check one dude or to change something. The receiver also has some freedom. The tight end has some freedom. The running back has some freedom. Hey, I went here when you told me to go here, and it wasn't there, so now I'm going here. And that's okay. We're all on the same page. But the biggest thing is as long as we're making definitive decisions that the quarterback knows why we're doing what we're doing, and we're both on the same page, whether it's quarterback and tight end, quarterback receiver, quarterback and running back, even if you're wrong in making that decision, if he knows why you're making the decision and where you're going, we can still make it right. And that's kind of what that means.
I guess last year the concept was option routes and putting options in there. I mean, is there now more control just in the quarterback's hands in terms of defining what is going to happen, or like, what's the difference between the option routes you guys had last year and what you're able to change?
Yeah, we're really not. You know, this system's not a big option route system. It's like I said, it's more, hey, you're running this route and you need to run this route. Now, if things happen within that route while you're running that route, you could change some things up. From like last year, it was, hey, you could go right or you could go left based off some things, and that's not really how this system works. So we're not living in that world. You know, we changed some things last year to make some of our plays just help ourselves in some of those plays. But with this system, you really don't have to do that. Like I said, it's more about, hey, I'm going right. I may go right high, I may go right low, but I'm going right. And there's no like I may go right, left, or straight based off of where the defense is. And that's kind of what that was last year when we were tweaking some things. And then some of those things, like we saw production and we saw some good things happen from those things. But now none of that matters. We're not doing that really much anymore.
You talk about simplicity of scheme. Is that one of the things that enabled TCU's offense to go so fast? And do you expect this offense to be noticeably faster than last year?
Yeah, you know, the good thing about, you know, this offense is with it being simple, with not a lot of plays, right? You can play faster, and one of the big reasons why you can play faster is because you're thinking faster, and the mental side of it is not slowed down. So, yeah, we'll be able to control the tempo however we want to, but the play calls get in quicker. You know, we're not, you know, in this system, the Garrett is gonna signal the play. You don't have boards and you don't have all that other stuff. In the past, in order for us to get a play going, there was a lot of stuff that had to happen and orchestrated to even get the play call in. And then from there was a ton of communication that had to happen to get the play call started. So you don't see that much in this offense. So if you want to play fast, there's opportunities to play faster because it is, like I said, it's easier, it's simple. Play calls aren't as long and as detailed. But if you want to play slow, you can play slow. You want to huddle, you want to huddle. You know, you want the quarterback to slow it down and control a little bit, you can do that too. So that's the beauty of this. You can, and there's a bunch of different TCU, Oklahoma, you know, all the teams, you know, that's really made their living in this system. They're not a breakneck speed, as fast as you can go, and you go and you look, and they're not going to be the number one, number two, number three, you know, most called plays in a game. But when they want to go fast, they can go fast, and that's a strength to this offense, and that will be something different than what you've probably seen in the past few years here.
How much, if any, does your role change in actually coordinating the passing game, or maybe there's some different things that Garrett
Yeah, you know, we're still kind of new in the process. The biggest thing right now was, you know, right when he got here, we jumped right on the road recruiting. So, I mean, he was here a day or two, and then next thing you know, me and him was in a plane, and we're, you know, headed out on the recruiting trail. And we're not even talking offense or football. But, you know, as we've grown our relationship and kind of go through this spring and see how it all comes together, I'm sure there'll be more that kind of comes down from. We're not talking game planning yet or any of that type of stuff. For me, it's been, you know, I've been in the system for 13 years. So, you know, obviously the last 7 I've been out of the system, being here at Clemson. But for 13 years, this is what I ran at North Gwinnett High School, Southeastern Louisiana University, and at Northwestern High School. So he knows that. He knew that coming in, and he knew my, you know, how familiar I was with the system. So that's helped us too. Just kind of, you know, me seeing his version of it and learning it, and that's what's been great for me. Like I said, I've been out of it for 7 years. It's kind of like you ride a bike; you never forget it, you know. But it's been really good for me to kind of. I'm not starting from scratch, but with Garrett, you know, I'm learning his signals. You know, I'm learning, you know, what he sees in certain play calls based off of what I saw, you know, in the past of running it. So that's been really good to kind of spend some time with him on that. But, you know, from a passing game coordinator standpoint, you know, we're going to work together like we always do. But at the end of the day, he's the offense coordinator, and he'll call the plays, and I can't wait to be a part of it in whatever capacity, you know, he needs me in.
Jake Briningstool so far? Just where do you think he can kind of take a step forward this season?
You know, Brenny's been. I've just seen a totally different Briningstool. You know, I told him yesterday I am super proud of him. You know, I've challenged him a lot since I've taken over the tight end spot, and you know, he's such a talented player, and with that, he still has so much room to grow and how far he can go based off his potential. And, you know, again, like anything else, as we've spent more time together and our relationship has grown, you know, he trusts me more, and he knows that I want what's best for him too. But my biggest challenge to him going into, you know, this offseason was, hey, I need to see you take another step in maturity. I need to see you take another step in leadership, and I need to see consistency. And he has been really, really good in all 3 of those areas. With losing Luke out of the room and with losing Davis out of the room, you know, from a leadership standpoint, that's 2 huge pieces of the puzzle. Great players, but what they did to lead this group, you know, it's hard to replace that. And that's what I challenge Brenny with. And Sage too. Sage has done a really good job. This is the first spring where Sage has been healthy and has been able to do some good things and be out there. So I'm excited for the whole room with this new offense. They're excited about it. I see a different look in their eyes as they come to meetings, as they come to practice. But I would say right now, you know, we're halfway through spring. I'm very pleased with the entire group, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this new offense.
Speaking of this offense, you go to Southeast Louisiana, you've got Hal.
Southeastern.
Southeastern.
I mean, put some respect on the Lions' name, you know.
But you've got Hal Mummy, Matt Mummy, the air raid. You learn it, bring it back to South Carolina. Is that really your first experience with it? So obviously you brought it back. So
yeah, I was so originally when I went to meet with Hal and Matt and Gary Goff, who's the head coach at McNeese State, they were all at Southeastern, and I was at North Gwinnett High School in Georgia. And so I was there for 2 years, and the head coach I was working for there worked with Coach Mummy at Kentucky and at Southeastern. So he actually sent me down there to learn it, to bring it back to North Gwinnett so I could, we could install it at North Gwinnett. So I was at North Gwinnett with it, installed it at North Gwinnett, then went to Southeastern after that, was a part of that run, and then brought it to Northwestern. So between those three schools, it was 13 years of being in the system. But, yeah, nobody was really doing it in the state of South Carolina. Obviously, Bobby was having a good run at Burns during that with spread, and they were probably the best spread team at that point. And we did it a little bit different. We did it this air raid version. But, yeah, and then, it was funny. A lot of coaches in the state, I was new to the state, and now I'm bringing this, weird system, and we're going to do things a little bit different. And I got made fun of by a lot of coaches in the state. And then a couple years later, we weren't getting made fun of anymore for running what we were running. So now a lot of people running in the state, and which is cool to see. It's kind of grown, and there's a lot of air raid versions of this offense in the state of South Carolina now.
So to piggyback off of that, yes, everybody ran the veer or the option or something like that as a way to try and compete. And then after you started doing that, how much did you see the proliferation of the spread 4 and 5 wide out?
Yeah, it's just like anything else, It was a lot of doubts, and then you start having some success with it, and then people want to start, doing it or trying to do it. The key to it is there's a lot of people that'll try to copycat it, but it's not about the plays. It's about how you practice it. You got to practice it a certain way. You got to meet a certain way. You got to have a mentality a certain way to get out there and do the thing as a coach, do some of the things that you're going to do. So, I saw a lot of people come through Northwestern when I was there, and we were open doors just like we are here, and show you whatever you want, teach you whatever you want. But very few, if any, would walk out of there and fully commit to it. And that's the thing. You have to 100% commit to this system and how it's run, practiced, the whole nine. And Coach Swinney's done that. It hasn't been a situation where, and I knew that when Garrett was coming and bringing it, I knew that, hey, you can't go half and half, you can't be 75-25, and you can't piece together what the best part of what Garrett does to the best part of what Clemson did in the past or whatever. It's got to be 100%. And Coach has done an awesome job with that. Just, hey, you got the keys. This is why I brought you here. Teach it to these guys, and let's go. And let's get our confidence back, and let's get our swagger back. And it's just been fun to see the kids respond. They're having fun, and they're just kind of not, like I said earlier, it's just a lot easier and more simple where they're not bogged down in a lot of details, and they can just go play football. That's why they came here. They came here to get a great education from Clemson. They came here to play football, and they came here to play football at a high level. And for most of these kids, they watched a lot of dudes out there make a lot of plays offensively that looked a lot of fun, and they wanted to be a part of that. And I think that's where we're going. I think that's where we're headed back to. Just need a little change, and that's what we got. And change is tough, but change can be really, really good too.